Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner. This is Semantic Mastery and Hump Day Hangouts in this episode, 202. Wow. And this is the 19th of September, 2018. And we've only got two of my partners on with me today. And I've got Chris and Marco. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Anything going on that we should know about, or anything special or exciting or any of that?
Well, Pofu is coming out soon. Like, we're heading over to the States, at least I'm soon, so nothing else going on my end.
Very cool. Very cool. It looks like Adam's driving and hangouting again. Adam, can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm probably pretty scratchy. Just got on the ground at the nick of time. Just thought I'd pop on, say hi to everybody. I'm late to do the intro, but wanted to see what you guys are up to today.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Pay attention to the road, man.
Yeah, this is nice. I'm not driving today. So.
Okay. All right. All right. Marco, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm good. Working on MGYB, trying to get everything together in there for all of our members and followers so that they can have their services all in one place and done for you. Whatever they need, it will be available. It takes time. And then the other thing is, of course, working on the next gen software, not having anything to do with Google ever again software, and still make tons of money. That's what I'm on. And so, yeah, this is like, I don't know, I haven't been this busy and geeked up about something in a very long time, but I think this is really going to be a killer.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. And so, guys, just a couple things before we get started. Some housekeeping things. Number one, if you're new to Semantic Mastery, there's a couple things we recommend that you do. First, subscribe to our YouTube channel. The reason why is because we produce a ton of content, video content, a lot of training videos, stuff that comes out of Hump Day Hangouts. We also chop up individual question and answers and repost those as individual video clips. And so by subscribing to our channel, you'll get notified of update videos, anything that we post publicly, you'll get notified of. And also, you can check out our channel for any questions that you may have. So, for example, if you have questions about SEO or local marketing or content syndication or whatever, we have a knowledge base at support.semanticmastery.com. You could always go check our frequently asked questions over there. But our YouTube channel is really a wealth of information. We've been at this now for 202 episodes, almost an entire 4 years. We've got literally thousands of videos on our YouTube channel. And so if you go to our channel, which is youtube.com/semanticmastery, and then click on the channel search function, you can actually search questions over there. And because we have timestamps in our videos and such, the search function works really well. You'll typically get multiple answers from us around one question, and you can just start going through them and listening to the answers, because a lot of times we end up answering the same question many times anyways. So I highly recommend that you do that. Also, we've got a couple of we've got the Pofu live event, which is our first live event that we're hosting, coming up in October. October, I think, 19th and 20th, or 20th and 21st. We would highly recommend that you come to that. Guys, do any of you have the link that you can drop on the event page for that? Or it's just pofulive.com, I think. I'm pretty sure it's just Pofu Live, POFU live.com. If you want to check that out, we have VIP tickets, still a couple of VIP tickets left, guys. The price is going to be going up. I don't know when exactly. I think Adam told me, but I don't remember. See if I can find it. Does anybody know when Adam said we were supposed to? Next Wednesday. Got it. Okay. All VIP tickets will be gone next Wednesday. So if you guys were thinking about coming, I would highly recommend, if you're interested in the VIP, which is going to be an entire extra, day with us. Really, essentially, we're going to have the VIP day before the start of the event, and you're going to have direct access to us. It will be a much smaller group. And we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to, I can't reveal what we're doing just yet, but it'll be kind of like a group environment. And it's more about just connecting. I mean, we can certainly talk business and methods and strategies and all that. That's what it's for. But it's just to get us all together and to get to know each other and stuff. So the VIP is going to be really good. There's also some additional benefits some additional time that we're going to spend with the VIP members, all of us, all my partners and I, to help you with your specific business and the issues or problems that you're facing, hurdles, you know, things like that. So I highly recommend you check it out. All prices are going to be going up, as well as the VIP tickets will be shut down as of Wednesday next week. Okay. Chris,
well, I'm not sure what you're going to talk about, but like I'm going to be dropping a couple bombs over there. So everybody who is at the event definitely will see like a massive change in the business, obviously to the positive. So be excited.
That's it. And in fact, Marco, do you want to comment on that for a minute while I pull something up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be talking about, yeah, it's kind of, if you don't know what POFU is, if you're not there, then it's kind of nebulous. So you need kind of like a roadmap. You know, I don't want to drop an F-bomb this early, but how in the world do I get to POFU? Because there's people that are feeding you a whole bunch of garbage all over the web. It's recycled garbage. It's stuff that they take from somebody else and make it their own, and they don't even present the information correctly, and it just confuses people. And so what I want to do is I want to get some of that confusion out of the way, and just, you know, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it, that and that kind of thing. And you know that when I get going, I'm very raw, and I'm gonna try to offend as many people as possible. So I hope you don't have any delicate sensibilities if you're coming, and if you do, leave them at the fucking door, man.
There you go. All right, I'm going to add an image to the event page right now. This is what we're calling the POFU ladder. So essentially, guys, this is really the goal that we're, it's going to be on the event page now. If you guys refresh the page, or it should pop up in a second. But essentially, it's a 5-step process. Find a local niche and crush it. Contact leads using our proven system. Give them amazing local results fast using our methods. Then build your team of A players and outsource and scale it and take it to the next level. So it's a 5-step process. That's what we're going to be teaching. It's all about learning how to turn your business into systems and processes so that you can scale, get the hell out of your own way, stop being the bottleneck in your own business, and really start taking your business to the next level. And so that's really what we're going to be doing. Excuse me for a second. I got somebody calling me. Shit. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. So that said, POFU Live. I don't know if somebody dropped the link or not. Looks like you did, Marco. So thank you. The next thing is, guys, we had an amazing webinar on Monday with Press Advantage and Press Advantage 2.0. Jeremy Notzelman, one of the co-founders and owners of Press Advantage, came on with me, and we spent 2.5 hours rapping about press releases and how freaking incredible they are, which you guys should already be aware of that, since we have Local PR Pro, which was an entire training developed specifically for how to rank local properties or local assets using press releases. And when Jeremy came on with us on Monday and did this webinar, like I wasn't even aware of how amazing of an offer, and this is no bullshit, how amazing of an offer he gave us during the webinar. Again, I was completely blindsided by it. And so I couldn't believe how amazing the offer was. In fact, when afterwards I had a follow-up call with him on Tuesday, and I ended up purchasing the upgraded offer plus the OTO for that offer, the one-time offer for that, for my own agency. And we're also getting one for Semantic Mastery, a separate account for Semantic Mastery. So guys, I highly recommend that you take some time. It's a 2.5-hour webinar. Even if you don't want to purchase what the offer is at the end, which if you're using press releases, you'd be absolutely nuts not to purchase at the end. But regardless, you should at least watch the training, because there's a lot of really good training in there. Him and I, he's been in the press release business for 7 years. I've been using press releases for about that long, but not real heavily, like until about a year and a half ago. And now press releases are my preferred off-page link building method, and I use them all the damn time. And so again, it was a very exciting webinar, and him and I had a lot to talk about, and we bounced a lot of ideas off each other as far as like what we've been doing in our businesses with press releases for results. So I would highly recommend you check that out. I'm going to drop the link on the page, but that was at semanticmastery.com/press-advantage. So I'm going to drop the link on the page, and then we're going to move on. Anything else, guys, before we get into questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let me make sure I got the right link before I do that. Stand by. Without our wonderful host, Adam, here, I've got to do it all. So let me just make sure that's correct. Yeah, it is.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to drop this on the page and I'll grab the screen and we'll get into it. Press advantage. Photo. Again, guys, go check it out while it's still open. I think it's going to be open until Monday night next week. So you should have some time, but definitely go through it. Even if you're not planning on buying, I highly recommend that you go through it, at least the training portion of it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to grab the screen. We're going to get into questions.
You got the cameraman?
Good point. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. All right, so we're getting started. Douglas is up first. He says, how does Bill Cousins' Rocket Video Ranker that you guys promoted compare and differentiate from Video Carpet Bomb thing that you guys got going on? Well, Rocket Video Ranker is a good tool. It's also a spam tool, in my opinion, which Video Carpet Bomb is a spam method. There's no doubt. I'm not trying to hide that at all. You know, we're using basically the same video file uploaded to multiple channels, targeting variations of keywords or the same keyword with different location modifiers, whatever. The difference between Video Carpet Bomb, which we're using, I'll be 100% transparent with you guys, as I always am. The tool that we use for that method or that process is the Video Marketing Blitz suite of tools from Abs Ravji, and the specific tool within that suite is called Video Keyword Prospector. That's what my VA uses. There's a bit of a learning curve for that tool. It's very, very powerful, but it is a bit of a learning curve. It's a bitch to set up because you have to generate a bunch of API keys, all this stuff, whatever. My point is, it takes quite a bit of time to learn how to use it, but it's a very powerful tool. What I like about Video Keyword Prospector or the Video Marketing Blitz tool or our Video Carpet Bomb method, right, is that it uses multiple YouTube channels. So it's less likely for any one channel to get terminated, because with Rocket Video Ranker, which is Bill Cousins' tool, which also works, and it works rather quickly, it takes the same video and uploads it to the same channel 30 times. At least the last time I used it, which has been several months now, that was the recommended maximum number of instances of the same video to the channel, which is 30. Okay. So obviously, guys, think about it. If you have the same video file, now there's things that it does to make the video file unique so that it can be uploaded to the same channel 30 times. But if somebody comes across a channel and all 30 videos are the exact same video, according to us as we see it, on, you know, the encoding may be different or whatever, YouTube might think they're different, but we can tell that it's all the same damn video, then typically that video or that channel can be reported for spam and it will be terminated. I've also found that the Rocket Video Ranker channels sometimes almost like they get sandboxed, where they don't get de-indexed or terminated, but they don't show up well. Like you have to search for the actual URL of the video for it to appear in search. Like if you search for the keywords or the title of the video, it doesn't show up, or at least in the top 10 pages. And I found that to happen often with those channels. They last for a short period of time. They're both churn and burn strategies, guys. So let's make no mistake about that. These are not long-term strategies. I mentioned on a previous Hump Day Hangout recently that the Video Carpet Bomb method is great as a churn and burn strategy and something that you can sell as a recurring service. In other words, every single month you generate you rerun the campaign, or you rerun the campaign with different set of keywords or different set of locations, right? And just you would charge on a recurring basis to rerun that campaign every month, or to purchase it from us every month and just upsell it, right? Or mark it up and sell it to your end user. So the difference is with Video Carpet Bomb, we upload a video file to multiple channels. And so any individual channel in our Video Carpet Bomb, our service, excuse me, is going to have a whole bunch of different kinds of videos uploaded to it, because we have, you know, say 50 YouTube channels connected to that tool at any time. So if we upload a video and we're targeting, let's say 100 keywords or keyword plus location combinations, we might only have that same video upload 2 times to any one channel. Does that make sense? And that those other channels are also going to have other videos from other campaigns that we've done. So my point is, it's a lot less likely for any one of those channels to get terminated. With video, Rocket Video Ranker, excuse me, it's one video 30 times to the same channel. And it works well, and it works well quickly. But what I found is they typically don't last that long. And then when the channel gets ghosted or sandboxed, it affects all of those same videos, right? All of the videos for that particular campaign. Whereas with our video marketing blitz, if any one of the channels gets terminated or ghosted or sandboxed, we still have all the other channels that have the videos up on them, if that makes sense. So again, it's about diversifying, guys, mitigating risk, you know, limiting your exposure. And so personally, I like the video carpet bomb method better. There's nothing wrong with Bill Cousins' tool. We've promoted it. It is a good tool. It absolutely works. Just know that I personally chose to use the video keyword prospector tool of Video Marketing Blitz as part of the video carpet bomb for the tool that we use for that, specifically for that reason that I just mentioned. It was a good question though, Douglas. Okay. But you can still accomplish the same thing using that tool. If you have it, use it. You know, just be aware that typically you're going to have to rerun those campaigns more often. You're going to have more disposable channels available, because channels get sandboxed, seem to happen rather often. All right. DA or DA. Okay. Hey guys, I'm planning to create a massive GMB listing for one brand. Am I going to use different Google accounts for each city? Oh, and I am going to use different Google accounts for each city. I think about buying accounts from bulkpva.com and registering all the GMBs with those accounts. Do you guys recommend doing that, or do some GMB listings get deleted because of the fake accounts? Okay, I've got no problem doing that. In fact, that's typically how I do stuff. Like when I'm registering my own GMBs, I will do that. I will use phone verified, double phone verified accounts that I got from Bulk PVA, which is MetroViz or whatever. I buy a lot of accounts from him. In fact, we were just talking about a bunch of YouTube accounts for Video Carpet Bomb, the tool that we use for Video Carpet Bomb. That's where we get all of our YouTube accounts. It's the same provider. All right. Here's the thing about that, DA or duh. I'm not sure what to call you. What I recommend if you're going to do that, first of all, this is assuming that you are going to be, you know, claiming and registering that Google My Business verifies underneath these Gmail accounts. That means you're going to be doing like the actual registration of the GMBs and then verifying them, or you or your team or whatever. If you buy done for you Google My Business GMB verified services, which like we now sell inside of MGYB, our store, then you don't need any Gmail accounts, because we actually produce that for you, right? You get that included with the GMB verification. A new Gmail account gets created and all that. I'm just telling you that. I'm assuming you're going to do it on your own, but I just want everybody to understand you don't need to provide a Gmail account if you're buying the verified GMB profiles from us. Okay. That said, yes, you can use the bulk PVA accounts. Here's how you safeguard those accounts from termination. When you get them back from the provider, okay, I highly recommend that you use something like Browsio or Ghost Browser, and you add each individual Gmail account to its own profile or instance, its own browser instance, right? So in Browsio, you call that a profile or a project, I think it is. And so each individual Gmail account now will have its own browsing history, right? So you want to segregate or separate all of them so that you're not just, for example, using your Firefox browser, for example, to log into one account, set up a GMB, then log out, clear cache and cookies, and then log in again with another GMB or another Google account and do it all over again, because that looks very suspicious. And because those were purchased Gmail accounts, if you do anything suspicious with them, especially initially, then they will get terminated or you'll get locked out of them. But if you log in or log in for the first time, even out from the same IP, you don't even need proxies, guys. You can use the same IP, but just have Browsio or Ghost Browser open, log into each Gmail account from a separate browsing instance, and don't clear cache or cookies for that ever, right? Every time you log back into that account, it should be through the same browser profile in either Browsio or Ghost Browser or comparable tool, because those browser profiles contain all the browsing history, all the websites that were visited, all that kind of stuff. So it starts to build a profile, which is natural. That's normal. That's what people in the real world do, right? They don't clear cache and cookies after every browsing instance, right? So that's number one, is make sure that you're doing that so that you're constantly accruing additional history and profile data for that particular account. All right. So that's number one. Number two, change the password, because not that MetroBiz does this, but I know that when I've bought accounts in the past, and maybe it's not intentional, maybe it's on accident, but I know that sometimes the accounts, if you don't change the passwords, they will get resold. I'm not saying he does that. I'm just saying I've bought enough accounts over the years that I know that one of the first things you need to do is change the password. Okay. One other thing you can do is, if you have domain like webmails accounts for, just various domains that you have, is you can set up domain email accounts, webmail accounts through cPanel that you use as the recovery email for your Google Gmail accounts. If you're buying Gmail accounts, you should set up your own recovery email, and when you first log in, change the password and change the recovery email. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If you do those three things, then you should be able to use those purchased phone verified accounts absolutely fine for creating and claiming GMB profiles. Okay. Good question though. Jordan's up. He says, when you are all fired up for Hump Day Hangouts this afternoon, but realize it's only Tuesday. Oh, that was yesterday. That's funny. It's funny. Okay. DAB's up again. He says, hey guys, question on local GMB Pro. You use the Google Tag Manager to redirect from the website to the GMB website. My question now, why not use a normal 301? And where can I see how to create that code? Well, in local GMB Pro, if you're in local GMB Pro, you have that code already. It's just a simple meta refresh code, and it's already in the training. Check the summary section of that lesson where I teach that, because it should be right in the right-hand sidebar. It's just it's a one-line piece of code, right? And that the reason why instead of using a straight 301 is because it's a meta refresh. Because a meta refresh, the page will load, and then the bot will read the directive in the HTML header and then redirect to the destination page. And it's kind of a way, like if you want, like for example, and specifically, and I'm not revealing anything here, Marco, so don't worry. But specifically, I talk about, if you're going to be using a self-hosted website and you want to inject local business schema or structured data in the HTML header of the site, which is very powerful, then I want a meta refresh as a redirect to the business site, the GMB website, instead of just a straight 301, because it gives the Googlebot the chance to read that JSON LD structured data before it redirects to the destination page, which in this case was the GMB website. Right? That's the only reason why. If you do a straight 301, it bypasses the redirect URL altogether and just goes direct to the GMB website. But with the meta refresh, and it reads the head section of the HTML head section of the page before it redirects, and that way it gives Googlebot the data from the structured data. That's the only reason why I did that. If you're not going to be using a self-hosted website, you don't even need to worry about it. Right. And by the way, for all the GMB stuff that I've been sniping lately, I'm not even setting up websites, self-hosted websites anymore, guys. I'm just using the GMB website because it's free. It doesn't require hosting, and it doesn't require updating like WordPress does every other day. Right. Okay.
And just, one last thing. You're asking local GMB Pro questions. If you have the course, then we have a Facebook group for questions like this, where we can go more in depth and just tell you exactly what it is that you need to do, or just go into the training if you have the training.
Yep. Very good. Gordon, what's up, Gordon? He says, hey guys, thanks again for the help you provide on Hump Days. It's greatly appreciated. I'll +1 that. Thank you, Gordon. He says, I read an article recently from an expert who says the benefits from using press releases do not last very long, as the media sites used for distribution do not want excessive content on their sites, and they clean out previously posted press releases on a regular basis. Yeah, we call that the purge. I cover that extensively in Local PR Pro. And so, yeah, and we actually covered that a lot in the webinar on Monday too, with Jeremy of Press Advantage. Is this true? And if so, what is the typical time period the press release remains alive before it is cleansed from the posted site? Thanks again, Gordon. Gordon, it's going to depend. It's going to vary on each individual publication site, and even the individual publication sites, the time frames will vary from when they purge those from their records. Apparently, they say they don't want to clutter up their databases, which is bullshit because, you know, the pages carry such they're such small files, especially if they're just text files, which they typically are, unless you include an image. My point is, they do purge them. I'll give you a perfect example. One of the distribution sites for almost all of the distribution networks that I publish press releases through, Press Advantage being one of them, is NBC12.com. NBC12.com is the Richmond, Virginia NBC affiliate, okay, or affiliate for NBC, right? And so I obviously do a lot of stuff with businesses in Virginia. So whenever I publish a press release about a business in Virginia, typically the NBC 12 version of it, right, that where it was that page, the press release published on the NBC 12 website, ranks very well in Virginia. Makes sense. Richmond, Virginia is Richmond is the capital of Virginia, and this is the NBC affiliate station for Richmond. So obviously, if I'm promoting a Richmond, Virginia, or excuse me, a Virginia business, the NBC 12 version or the press release published on NBC12.com ranks very well. However, they purge. NBC 12 purges. Sometimes it lasts 3 or 4 or 5 months. Other times it doesn't even last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. And I know that to be 100% true because I was literally checking on one of the press releases. I'm recording training videos for a product that we're launching on October 1st. We'll talk more about that next week, guys. But anyways, I was doing some research on some of the press release stuff that I've been doing on, and literally one of the press releases for my own agency that I published about my own agency is less than 3 weeks old. And on the NBC 12 site, it's throwing a 404 error now. So it varies. I have other press releases published on the NBC 12 site that are now 3 or 4 months old, and they're still valid. They're still there. So I don't know what these publication sites do. Like, I don't know what criteria they use for purging. I don't know if it's time. I don't know if it's, you know, and again, if the time varies, what triggers it to vary? Like, what triggers it to be purged sooner than later? That kind of stuff. I honestly have no idea. The truth, there's absolute truth in the statement that you heard there from the expert who said that benefits of press releases don't last very long. So what's the solution? Continually publish press releases, right? There's a simple answer to that, guys. Just make it a regular thing, right? Publish press releases regularly and consistently, right? If we talked on the webinar, Jeremy says the sweet spot is publishing 3 press releases per month per business. That's the real sweet spot where he gets the most results. Through my local PR Pro method that I developed and I tested, and really I just started. The whole local PR Pro thing was born out of a test to disprove that press releases worked for local rankings. And I set out to disprove that they worked, and I was proven wrong. They do work, and they work freaking really well. And so anyways, like I said, just continually publish. With my method, I have found at least a minimum of 2 press releases. But typically what I do with press releases is I publish 1 every 2 weeks. So 2 per month per business until I gain traction. But Jeremy was talking about how his magic number is 3 per month per business. So just play around with it. But the key is to continually publish anything that's newsworthy. And pretty much anything can be made newsworthy, guys. You got a new blog post? Write a PR about it. Publish a PR about it. Got a new review? Publish a PR about it. Got a new special or new coupon, new discount, new product, new service? Publish a PR about it. New employee, new award recognition, new sponsorship activity for local little league or something. Publish a press release about it. My point is, there's really no shortage of ways to tie press releases or news releases back to the business, and so the idea is to keep doing it. Okay. Again, those time frames vary from when they purge. The goal is, and if you've ever been through local PR Pro, there was specifically some update training about that, because we talk about press release stacking and how to essentially daisy chain or silo press releases together. And the key is to not link to press release sites in the silo or the chain, the stack. You don't want to link to press releases that are going to be purged. And if you do, you should set up redirect URLs and all kinds of stuff. And again, all of that is covered in Local PR Pro. So Gordon, if that's a strategy you want to pursue, I highly recommend you check out that course. All right. Scott's up. He says, I've been moving a plumbing GMB up in the maps listing and is now sitting at number 4 for some serious keywords. This account was set up using MGYB GMB account services. Very nice. Thanks much. Okay. So he's talking about, this was a plumbing listing that he set up and used our store's GMB verification services to purchase the GMB profile as opposed to doing it himself. So thank you, Scott. He says, I now have a prospective client. See, guys, it works. Scott's doing exactly what we're teaching. Go out, secure a GMB profile in an area that you want to work in, that you want to generate leads for a business, and then target the business owner. So you back the service provider into the asset, right? You develop the asset first, get it ranked, get it producing leads, and then you back the service provider into it. It's a much better way, I found, than trying to sell your marketing services to people. All right. And so Scott's he's in our mastermind, and he's been getting training on that from inside the mastermind, and he's taking action. That's awesome, Scott. I'm definitely going to +1 that. He says, I now have a prospective client. My question is, how can I change the primary phone number for the GMB to a call tracking or other number without triggering a Google re-verification? Thanks much. Well, first of all, why would you need to change the primary phone number, Scott, to a call tracking number or other number without triggering the Google re-verification? Why would you need to do that? If you purchased the GMB from us, you should have already, when you purchased it with, you should have provided a tracking number when you purchased it. Does that make sense? So in other words, whenever I go to set up a GMB, guys, I go set up the virtual phone number first so that when I order the GMB from our store, I have provided the phone number that's going to be attached to that listing going forward, right? I don't know you don't want to put a fake number in there, because then once you get the verified profile, it could possibly re-trigger or trigger re-verification when you update that data. That said, Scott, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would go ahead and just update it, because I have GMB listings that I've gone in and literally changed the business name or the business address, not the physical location, but the web address or the phone number, and not had it re-trigger or trigger re-verification. If I've changed the physical address, like the physical, like the street address, if I change the physical location address, that triggers re-verification. But I've been able to change the phone. I'm not saying it won't trigger verification. It may. And if it does, you may be shit out of luck, which is why you should just order it with all the data right off the bat, so that you don't have to worry about it. But what I'm saying is, I have changed business names, also website URLs, also phone numbers, and had all 3 of those not trigger re-verification. It's possible that it might, but it's also possible that it won't. Okay. Marco, do you want to comment on that at all? But
yeah, well, once again, this belongs in the local. I know that Scott is in the local GMB Pro Facebook group, so this question belongs there. And we could guide him, because this is actually really simple, and there's no reason for him to even worry about re-verification if he does it right.
Yeah.
So just come ask in the group, and we'll get to you, Scott.
One other thing I want to mention, guys, is a very powerful way to really kind of secure these assets to make them a lot less likely to get terminated. And that's to just set up a G Suite account for that asset. Like, in other words, tie a Google domain. In that case, you would need a domain, but that's something simple that you could do, guys. You could even use like subdomains and stuff if needed. My point is, if you set up a G Suite account, then now you're paying Google. It's a way to validate that entity even further. And it makes it like more spam proof, so to speak, right? More slap proof. So anyways, Frankie says, if I create an IFTTT network ring around my YouTube channel so it triggers whenever I upload a video, does this also apply to live events? Yes, it does, Frankie. If I create a live event first before I stream to poke long tail keywords before I commit, will this trigger the IFTTT and create all those brand backlinks to my live event? Let me think about that. I believe, yeah, you should be able. It's been a long time since I've tried syndicating a scheduled live event, but I'm pretty sure that still works. Yeah, it does work.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep.
When did you poke in?
Sorry about that. But yeah, I've been here for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. But anyways, yeah, I think it does actually, and we've done that in conjunction with something like Video Powerhouse to kind of pre-prime a live event. So you could create it, you could get it out there, and then when it comes live, it actually holds so much more juice. It used to work really, really well. At some point, Google equalized that a little bit, but it still works well at this point. So
I have to keep removing my +1. You see that?
Yeah.
Look at what the fuck, Frankie. I'm trying to +1 it, but Google won't let me.
Yeah.
Anyways, Google doesn't like what I was just talking about. All right. So yeah, that's right. And I do remember it. It absolutely will syndicate scheduled live events as long as they're public. If you set them to public, if you set them to unlisted or private, it won't. But if you set them to public, then yes, it will syndicate them. And then when you stream, and Hernan is right. What we had found, and I haven't tested this now in at least probably 2 years, but what I had found was we would prime live events, like he said, where we would push them out across, great big vast networks. I had some syndication networks tied like multiple rings where I think we were publishing whenever we would upload a video or schedule a live event, it would literally syndicate out to like 800 and some odd properties. That was a lot. And then when we'd go stream the video, which could be a week later or whatever, because all those embed codes were out there, like when we went to stream it, it would just instantly rank on page 1 when we streamed it. Right? Does that make sense? So scheduled live events would index, but they wouldn't necessarily rank well. But the moment that we would kick that, start the broadcast, within seconds, boom, it would shoot right up. And I think that's because Google knows where all that code is, that embed code is out there, and it sees it as all these places that's published. It must be a popular event that people are anticipating. So when the event happens, we're going to go ahead and rank it high. It might be a short temporary ranking boost, but it does work well. Yep.
I used to do it for long tail keywords for local areas, and it worked well. Like, you had that big boost initially, and then it would work down a little bit. Maybe you would lose a couple spots. They would be rock solid on YouTube. Top YouTube and top video tab as well. But yeah, that is something. And still, the Hangouts are still being syndicated. They are tied to syndication networks. On the Semantic Mastery channel, and there are some subsidiaries channel that we also push them. So yeah, they carry a lot of juice. Still, maybe it's not as it wasn't even funny. At some point when we discovered that, it wasn't even funny. You could rank anything. But anyways, fun times.
Yeah, it wasn't. Marco just pointed this out the other day. Marco, remember that?
Yep.
This guy in Virginia. Now, Harry Jameson beat me out on that. But look, it's only because I'm in Culpeper and it knows my IP that it's doing that. The coolest guy, when we were testing the whole live stream stuff, Google Hangout stuff, look at that, December 9th, 2013. And it was funny because this guy, Harry Jameson, I know he watches our show and everything, Hump Day Hangouts, and he comments occasionally. And Harry, if you're watching this, dude, what's up, buddy? But it was funny because I did we were testing one of the live event blaster tools or whatever. I don't remember the name of it. It was one of many guys that does this. But yeah, I was just doing a test, and I just decided to test this keyword, and I saw that there was a guy that had already been targeting the coolest guy in Virginia, and it was this dude, Harry Jameson. And so I just did a quick test, and that's this 50-second video. And it was the middle of December, it's cold as balls. I'll never forget. And I did it. And I said in the video, I was just like, I'm just testing this SEO method. And I guess now I'm the coolest guy in Virginia. Sorry, Harry, you're not the coolest guy anymore, or whatever, something like that. You can watch the video. But it was funny because it was like, and there, look, VA Hangouts is one of the websites it's syndicated to. Anyways, it was like a matter of hours, and I got pinged on YouTube from Harry, and he was like, dude, like whatever. It was funny. We ended up having a conversation, and he's kind of been following us ever since. He comes and participates and asks questions occasionally. So it's really cool. It was really fun, and I thought that was funny, and he was a really good sport about it. So anyways, that's
by the way, video number 4, that's Dr. Gary.
That's Gary Kirwan, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And before you go on to the next question, I think Hernan has an announcement, don't you? You were a little bit late, and I think you dropped the link.
Oh yeah, I think there are some keyword research that you guys can get. We're making like a really small release of that, and there's only like five available according to Adam. So the link is there. Sorry about that. You guys are right. I was late, but the link is on the event page, and you can get a keyword research. You can get a keyword research run for you because we're testing some stuff, and there's only 5 available. So all you need to do once you order that, you need to contact support at semanticmastery.com with your keyword that you wanna the market that you wanna research.
Yeah, we
You
don't
wanna
we
add?
don't want, yeah, we don't
Yep.
want people to give us the keywords. What we want to know is what niche you're after,
There
and
you
we'll
go.
give you everything under the sun that you could possibly get under that niche. And if you go through this purchase link, before we actually set it live, and it's permanent in MGYB, it's actually half price right now,
Yep.
just about. So there's only 5. Get it, and we'll do all the research for you for whatever niche you want to go after.
Guys, it's insane. I mean, you're talking about hours and hours worth of keyword research that you're going to get back in one Excel file or Google sheet, and it's amazing. So, anyways. Okay, Greg's up. He says, hey, guys, my site is solid with the top category pages mostly being reviews of brands. A few pages rank in position 1 or 2 for brand review, but around position 5 or 6 for the brand name. I am adding markup to those pages and wondering if it is better to mark them up as articles or reviews. If marking it up as an article, does it lose some of its review authority, and vice versa? That's a question I really don't have an answer for, Greg, because I'm not sure. I would almost wonder, couldn't you mark the article up and the review, like both? I don't know if you can do that or not. Maybe Marco has a better answer. But what I'm saying is, if the article is about reviewing a company, then couldn't it have both an article markup and a review markup? Because it's doing both of those things, right?
Yeah, I don't really have an answer on this either, but intuition tells me, I mean, just from all the shit that we've done, that you could do both. Or you could do a whole lot of stuff with schema. I'm sorry that Rob isn't here, because Rob really gets deep into schema, and he's done just multiple things with schema on the same page. And I don't see you running into any problems if you add article schema along with your reviews. I mean, why would that? They're 2 different things, and you could have 2 different things on the same page. You could have video, and so you could mark that up, and you could have just other things. Author, for example, you can mark that up.
Yeah.
So I don't see why you can't. For example, question and answer, you could mark that up. So the one doesn't exclude the other, in my opinion.
Right. And that's the point, I think, Greg, that we've talked about schema spam, and you can get structured data spam. I've gotten them before, and Search Console warnings or penalties for structured data spam. And it happens if you are, like, for example, adding review data or review schema to a page just to get the stars to show up in search results when there's not really any review there, right? So that can get you into trouble. Or if you excessively mark up a page, or multiple pages or whatever, you can get a structured data spam penalty for that too. But if you're doing, like, in my opinion, and again, I don't have the definitive answer for you, Greg, I'm just saying I found that if it's logical, then it's very unlikely that you're going to get a spam penalty for that. And if so, and again, I don't do enough with reviews, structured data, and like, I don't do a whole lot of markup other than local business markup, guys. I probably should learn that, but I just don't. I just really stick to just the local business and organization markup. So, but I'm saying, if you can do article markup and review markup because the article is about a review of a company, then I would do both. That's not spammy, in my opinion. Although, again, I'm not 100% sure. So sorry I didn't have a better answer for you. Oh, we're almost done. Sweet. We're almost out of time. Guys, if you got any questions, post them, because otherwise we can wrap up a few minutes early. Coupon code, promo codes. He says, I have a lead gen property in the water damage market starting to gain traction in one location. Verified GMB was purchased through MGYB. Great work, guys. See, guys, the shit works. Thanks. I appreciate that. Since my background is solely affiliate and I hate client work, period, do you have any recommendations for affiliate networks that offer decent rates that you have experience with? We are scaling into this niche in several locations shortly, so need a long-term solution that's pretty much hands-off so we can focus on building a team to scale the operation. Thanks. That's very smart of you, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that you can use pay-per-call exchange networks, for example, like Ring Partner. I know they have water damage restoration and fire damage, water and fire restoration services inside of Ring Partner. Ringpartner.com is one of them. Just go do a search for pay-per-call exchange networks or pay-per-call networks on Google, and you can find some of those. If you hate client work, that's one way to do it. Just know that you're going to significantly reduce your income from those assets, because the conversion rates suck really bad for those pay-per-call networks. I know, because I've done a whole lot of work in those areas with those before, guys, doing like mass page generator sites. I've also done call only ads from Google, Google ads to those and all kinds of stuff. And I've always had just really shitty results with monetizing those leads because the threshold is so high for it to be a qualified lead. So my point is, like with water damage or fire damage restoration, if you use a pay-per-call exchange network, so in other words, you redirect the phone calls from there to the phone number that they provide you, and now that goes to an automated phone tree. So somebody calls and the phone tree picks up, and it puts them through a series of press 1, press 2 type shit. People get irritated with that stuff nowadays, guys, if you hadn't recognized it. I mean, doesn't it irritate you when you call something and you got to push 16 freaking buttons to finally get to talk to somebody? I mean, it irritates the shit out of me, and it does most other people now too. And so a lot of people end up hanging up and calling the next person in Google to a phone, to the next company that has a live body answering the phone, as opposed to some stupid phone tree, right? And I'm not saying all the Ring Partner offers are like that. Some of them might have live operators. I'm just saying, for every 10 calls that I would generate, I'd be lucky to get 2 conversions, and that's actually a really high conversion rate. For every 50 calls I would generate, I'd be lucky to get 2 to 5 conversions. I'm not kidding. And I've tried it multiple times. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but my point is, it's not a very good way to monetize those leads. But if it's something that you're trying to do while you're working on, like, to fill in the gap while you're working on a prospecting and sales process, then I would absolutely do that. Okay. So just go look for pay-per-call exchange networks or pay-per-call networks. Do that right on Google and just start going through them and apply to them. Some of them will show you as a publisher. That's what you would be, a publisher. There's publishers and advertisers. You would be the publisher. Advertisers would be the businesses that are buying the leads, right? So, some of the networks will show you which type of advertisers or advertiser categories they have. So that you know what you got to work with. I know Ring Partner absolutely has, or at least they used to. I haven't been inside Ring Partner in at least 6 months, but they used to have water and fire restoration advertisers in there. Okay. Greg says he will try doing both. He's talking about the schema for article and review markup. And he says, how many same as listings would be the maximum to add to the homepage organization markup? I think you can do pretty much unlimited. Am I right, Marco?
Yeah, I mean, you could add same as. I haven't run into a limit. I just keep it to like 50, the 15 to 20 that we use, that are that we know to be the most powerful. Those are the ones that I use. But you can mix them up. You can mix it up. I mean, this is a test in the making, where you can just try 10, try 15, try 20, and see which one is going to get you the best results. It could vary by niche. I mean, we don't know because of the nature of Google. But I mean, you could just go ahead, and this is something that can be tested. Just like you said, you will try doing both. I mean, that's the best thing to do. I'm pretty sure that it's going to work, because one does not conflict with the other.
Yeah. And let me just point out, since we got a couple extra minutes here, how to find what I consider to be the best to use for same as stuff. Obviously, guys, your same as properties, you should be listing all of your top level social media properties, like the big ones, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and that LinkedIn. If you have it, guys, that's a no brainer. Also, if you have any, whatever your top, if it's for a local business, obviously, any top level citations. Well, how do you determine what your top level citations are? The easiest way to do it is just do a Google search for the company name plus one of the other NAP data points, right? So name, address, phone number. So if you search for company name plus phone, or company name plus address, or address plus phone, whatever, I typically search company name and phone. And now that's going to show you all of the basically citations where your company name and phone number is listed. And so whatever shows up on page 1 and 2 of Google for a company name plus phone number search, that's typically what I would collect out. Those, whatever shows up on as far as citations, right? And any other, published properties that have name, address, phone number published on them. And I just put those into a spreadsheet or a notepad file and then use those as my same as. Right. There's a couple other really, I was going to demonstrate, but I really don't need to, because I'm pretty sure you guys are all smart enough to figure that out. Just seriously, just go grab your company name, or the company name that you're promoting, and then use like the phone number, for example, and just do a search for that. And then just go through the top 2 pages, collect all the links out of there. A couple other big ones would be, obviously, if you've got like a Google site from a Drive stack, you could use that as same as. If you've got ad ID pages, I know there's an ad ID page section for local schema, but I'd still put that as a separate URL in the same as. Some other ones that would be good would be like if you have a news page or press room, something that we talked about on Monday with the Press Advantage webinar. That's one of the key features of Press Advantage that I love, is that they give you like a newsroom page, which is essentially like a blog index page or a press release index page for all the press releases published for that particular organization or company, right? That's a really, really good one because there's a very powerful citation on that page. Drive stack files, right? Think about that. If you've got your main Drive stack folder, you could put that in there. I mean, there's just a number of things that you could do to put in there, guys. Think about what are the most powerful properties within your, your most powerful branded properties, and you want to put those in there too. Okay. Paul says, and I saw Rob commented, by the way, thanks, Rob. I didn't know you were here, or we would have brought you on today. Paul says, what are you guys charging to post 4 GMB posts a week for like a dentist or a chiropractor? Well, I don't deal with those type of clients, but it's going to vary. I can tell you what my standard pricing is, guys. My minimum charge is $300 a month for GMB posting. And right now that's roughly 20 posts per month. It varies a little bit, but I usually when I'm pitching that, it's 5 posts per week times 4 weeks. So it's 20 posts per month for $300. That's what I do. Again, everybody can charge whatever they're comfortable with, whatever you can get from your type of clients. I'm just telling you what I charge is $300. If I'm doing GMB plus citations, I charge $500 a month. And that's for the same, for 20 posts per month. But then that's also including, citation building. But I do just GMB posts alone for $300. Now, if it's a business that wants to be more aggressive, I will offer upgraded, upsell packages where we might do 7 posts per week, or which would be 1 every day, or we might do 10 posts per week, which would be 2 posts per day, 5 days per week. You know what I mean? It just depends on what the customer wants or what the client wants, how aggressive they want to be. It also depends on the competition level for that particular business. Obviously, before I promote or pitch a prospect on any of the services, I typically do some sort of audit or analysis of their property, to like competition analysis, to determine what it's going to take. And so, obviously, if it's a very competitive area, I'm going to suggest much higher volume of posting. And so it might be that we do, 3 posts per day, 7 days a week, which would be 21 posts per week, or 84 posts per month, essentially. And so that would be a much higher price. I would be charging somewhere around, $600, $700 a month for that.
It also depends on whether your client is, which most of them don't, but whether your client provides the images.
Correct.
Because if you have to go and grab the images and do all of the work for the images, man, that's a pain in the ass. And so you need to charge extra. If they just refuse even if they agree, you say, make sure it's clear that if you do not provide me images, then I'm going to have to charge you for providing the images.
Yeah. For $300 a month for the 20 that we do, we actually provide the images. I encourage the business owners. Like for example, I got several clients now that that we're doing GMB stuff for. And so what I do is I set up a Google Photos album, a shared photos album, and then I share it with them, and then they can share it with all. Like for example, you guys know I deal with mainly contractors, so a lot of the contracting companies have multiple technicians or whatever, and so then they share that Google Photos folder with their technicians or whatever, and whoever's also going to be contributing photos. And so now we've got one community Google Photos album that all the photos go into. And in my VA that does all the GMB posting, she has access to those folders as well. And so each time she goes to schedule posts for the week for that client, she just opens the Google Photos folder, and that works. And she just selects images right from there. And for the first couple months that I was doing this, I couldn't get any of my clients to provide me photos, but now I've got almost all of them providing me photos. It just took 2 months of me griping and bitching at them and nagging at them to get them to finally come on board and start providing me photos. But I'd say 80% of them now are actually contributing photos to the Google Photos folder often. Okay. So good questions today, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for being here. We got a mastermind webinar tomorrow. For those of you that are in the mastermind, we're going to be talking about the product launch that's coming up on October 1st for Local Lease Pro. That's the name of it. I'm going to be talking about the GMB sniping method a little bit more tomorrow. So you guys can make it, be there. Otherwise, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks, guys.
And I have a final question. Sure. If you guys are not in the mastermind yet, why the fuck not?
It's actually a good question, Markup.
Yeah, that is a good question, and something we had a support request come in from somebody that I guess joined recently, and I'm not going to call them out by name. If you're watching the webinar now, guys, whoever you are, you know who you are. And there's nothing you said that was wrong or bad. I'm not calling you out. What I'm saying is it was brought to our attention through support that they had made a comment about being in the mastermind and then like thinking that they were being upsold stuff. Guys in the mastermind, we don't try to upsell you anything. Like, for example, when you're in the mastermind, you get all of our products that weren't co-collaborated on from others outside of Semantic Mastery. So for example, Local GMB Pro, we had co-collaborators. Rob Beal was part of that. He helped us develop that product. So that's not something that you're going to get for free when you join the mastermind, because it's a higher price ticket than the $300, and because Rob has to get paid for each sale. He has to get a portion of that. RYS Academy and RYS Academy Reloaded, same thing. But everything else that we have, you can get inside of the mastermind. So for example, if you join the mastermind today, then, this month you're going to get access to the mastermind and you'll get one of the additional products that we have. And then the next month you get another product unlocked. So for example, we have stuff like Outsource Kingpin or Content Kingpin. We have Local Lease Pro, which is coming out October 1st. We've got Local PR Pro, which is, I think, an $800 course or whatever. But you can get that as a mastermind member for $0 other than your mastermind membership fee. But you just have to wait. Each month you get a new product unlocked. And so I think that the support request that came in, that he was saying, like, I feel like I'm being upsold, blah, blah, blah. No. And we rarely do affiliate promotion webinars. We do them, only when the product is superb. We vetted it. It's something we use in our own businesses. Like, for example, we did the product, a promotion with Eric Christopher for the G Hypnosis protocol a couple of weeks ago, because it's something that I've been intimately involved with, and it's something that I use, and it freaking works. We did the Press Advantage webinar this Monday because it works. I've been using Press Advantage for 4 years since they launched. So it's absolutely something we use. So if you're in the mastermind and you attend any of our promotional webinars, it's only because we have your best interest in heart. Obviously, yes, we're going to make some money if we promote it, but we don't promote just anything, guys. And you should know that by now, right? We only promote stuff that we actually use or that can benefit your business. And lastly, like I said, as far as our own products, if it's under $300, you get it for free. You don't get it all at once. We have to drip them out, or else it's not fair, right? Somebody comes and joins the mastermind and they get all the back products all in the first month, where other members that have been with us for 2 years have been paying for 2 years to get those products. Does that make sense? So when you come join us, you'll get access to the mastermind, all the archives, all that stuff, and then you'll get one of the main products, and then each month thereafter you get another product unlocked. So that's how it works. And maybe we haven't been real clear about that for new members and such, but I think we're going to nail that down a bit in our October our corporate meetings so that we can be much more clear about that in the future. Hernan, do you want to comment on that at all before we wrap it up?
You're completely right, Bradley. I mean, we are known for betting harder than anyone else, you know, the products, and we really have your best interest in mind. So, I mean, it's up to you if you whether want to invest in your business or not. But I would suggest that you join. And if you want to see, I would say if you want to see some of the power of the mastermind in action in live, you should definitely come to Buffalo Live as well. So
yeah. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you all either tomorrow or next week. Thanks,
Sounds
guys.
good.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.